Thomas loved his Grandpa Samuel. He was a carpenter. Grandpa Samuel built things with his hands. He built their home. He built Thomas a swing set. Most importantly, he built a bond with Thomas. Grandpa Samuel had a warm smile. His eyes twinkled when he laughed. Thomas loved to hear his grandpa's stories. He would sit on his lap for hours. Grandpa Samuel smelled like sawdust and wood. He always wore overalls. His hands were rough, but when he held Thomas, he felt safe. Thomas knew his grandpa would always protect him. He was his hero. Every Saturday, Thomas and his grandpa went fishing. They would wake up early. The sun was barely awake too. They walked hand in hand to the creek. "Patience, Thomas," Grandpa Samuel would say. "Fishing is about patience." Thomas would watch the bobber. He waited for a tug. Sometimes they caught fish, sometimes they didn't. "It's not about the fish, Thomas," Grandpa Samuel said one day. "It's about spending time together." Thomas didn't understand then, but he knew it made him happy being with Grandpa. One day, Thomas went to see his grandpa. His mum said he was sick. Thomas brought his grandpa his favorite drawing. It was a picture of them fishing. Thomas walked into the room. His parents were there. They were crying. Thomas didn't understand. Why were they sad? His mum hugged him tight. She told him Grandpa Samuel was gone. Gone where? Thomas thought. He wanted to play checkers. "He's in heaven now, Thomas," his dad said. "He's watching over you." Thomas didn't want him in heaven. He wanted him right here. He ran out of the room. He didn't want to play anymore. Years passed. Thomas grew older. He never forgot his grandpa. He kept his fishing pole in his room, a reminder of their time together. One day, Thomas went back to the creek. He sat on the bank. He closed his eyes. He could almost hear his grandpa's voice. "Patience, Thomas," the voice whispered. Thomas smiled. He finally understood. His grandpa wasn't just talking about fishing. He was talking about life. Thomas learned about love and loss. He learned about patience and perseverance. He learned from the best. His Grandpa Samuel, even though he was gone, he would always be in his heart.